Hello everyone, and I am very happy to have with me a dear student, Dr. Neel Limaye. His achievement is really amazing. Neel secured a rank of 23,000 in the last NEET, and this year in NEETPG 2019, he's come from 23,000 to a rank of 89. And let me tell you how awestruck he was that he didn't believe that it is his own rank, and he actually asked me to verify it for him. And I can totally imagine what the feeling would have been, but we would want to hear it from you, Neel. How do you feel right now?
Ma'am, I feel just amazed. This is amazing. I couldn't have hoped for anything better than this. And this was not possible without all the support that I've received from all the teachers at DAMS. And actually, to be honest, I asked so many people to cross-check the result for me. 5-6 different people. I also asked ma'am to do the same.
Right.
And it's just awesome.
I can totally understand your feeling and the overwhelming emotions attached to it as well. Because it is a great journey, a journey which people think is not possible, and you've sort of made it possible. And let's go back a little in time, in the last year when you saw your result and it was 23,000. Okay. Because this year there could be other people who are at the same place and they have this hitch on what to do now. So what did you decide when you saw your rank last year? And how did you decide that you're going to go ahead with this rank now?
When I attempted the Jan 2018 NEET, I was not prepared actually, and I was I was not hoping for a very good rank, but maybe not 23,000 also. But I was doing my internship then, back then, and after this rank, I decided to join the regular batch in Mumbai.
Okay.
And which started from February. So I had around the first 6 classes. My internship ended in March, so the first 6 classes I had to travel up and down from Dharwad, which was an overnight journey. So
and you did that?
Yes. So that was quite hectic then, but it was.
But it didn't deter you from not doing it. That is what is more important.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. The classes were really helpful, and I would actually look forward to those classes even during the internship phase. And so once I started with the regular course, I didn't know what to expect or how to go about it, but as the classes kept on happening, there was sort of an idea as to in which direction to proceed. Right. And the idea initially was to just stick to the notes and do whatever subject is being taught in that week. And
Right, I would ask you about the classes, but right now I really want to ask you something else as well. Yes, when you get not such a good rank or something that you were not really expecting, right? To start again is a big hitch. And how did you motivate yourself to go ahead and accept that probably you're weak in theory, probably you're weak in content, and that's what you need to go ahead with. Maybe it's time consuming. Maybe you have to travel, but this is what I need. So
yes, so I would say that during my MBBS years, I have always stuck to the standard textbooks, and I have tried to read only to understand basically. Yeah. So I think I had a decent foundation, I would say, but it was not at all sufficient for getting a good rank in NEET. And I frankly did not know how to proceed, and I never thought about such a rank, that I'm going to get such a rank. So I did not actually think about it too much. I actually stuck to the classes that were going on. I paid a lot of attention in the classes, I would say.
Okay.
And I made good notes. Actually, I'm frankly not much of a notes person either, but I would say that DAMS has taught me to make good notes, and because notes are the foundation for all the entrances that you appear for. So I think the notes, I kind of picked up the skill of making good notes, and the classes were amazing. And I didn't think too much about my rank. I was just focused on getting done with each subject as the classes were.
So if I get your idea right, you didn't think of the bigger target. You made smaller targets and ensured that you were doing them thoroughly.
Yes.
Yes. And those smaller targets have eventually led you to
yes, I would say that. Yes. So
because what I am trying to say or trying to put across to students is that if you see next NEET from today, you would think that it's impossible, and you would think that it's too long, and you would think that how will I persist? So instead of seeing far away things and things which you can't clearly see right now, it is better to divide your preparation into smaller zones, make it achievable.
Yes.
Right?
So that's what I think I did. I also took tests at regular intervals, and giving those tests, I could assess where I am standing, whether I'm improving or whether I was looking at the trend. Sometimes I would give a lot of attention to importance to the ranks that I was getting in those tests, and sometimes they were not good as well.
Right.
But I think I tried to look at 2 or 3 tests together to see where the trend is moving towards, basically, and that helped me assess where if I'm moving in the right direction. And I think I was getting decent ranks in the grand tests and the subject-wise tests.
So that means along with notes, which definitely form the base, you use the grand test to sort of improve areas where you were lacking behind.
Yes. As ma'am, you and sir used to recommend solving a grand test every month.
Yes.
Actually, I would be honest, I didn't solve a grand test in the first 3 months, but after that I was taking the subject-wise tests then. But then onwards, I started giving the grand tests, and that helped me assess.
Right. So you kept a track, a number of correct, a number of wrong questions.
Yes. So in the first 6 months when the classes were going on, I had roughly had this idea of trying to get around 200 questions correct, and it absolutely seemed impossible to get to that 200. I was stuck at somewhere between 180 to 190, and it was like a plateau. So I was but as and when I kept on getting done with the subjects, this I was inching towards that 200 marks. It moved to 191 and so on.
Right.
And I actually, then that's the point I realized somewhere around 5-6 months later on, that it's not important to do 1 or 2 subjects in great depth, but give all 19 subjects the importance that they kind of deserve for
I think he's absolutely right, and that's what is the difference between studying for a cause and simply studying.
Yes. So that's what I personally like internal medicine. So and if somebody likes general surgery or internal medicine or obstetrics and gynecology, you can absolutely go on endlessly months on it, and you will enjoy it also. But at the end of 2 or 3 months, you will probably be standing nowhere. That's what I felt. I realized this, and I cut down that temptation actually, and started giving other subjects importance as well. So that's how I actually reached that 200 mark, and then kept on improving further.
I think you have not only worked physically on your rank, but you've worked on it mentally as well. And that is very, very important. Please try and see what he's done to convert his 23,000 to rank 89. Right. And he's consistently moved towards every aspect of the exam, every subject, and has given every subject the due importance that it needs, instead of spending just months on medicine or months on surgery. Right?
Yes, ma'am. And I would also like to say that there are even I had my phases of there are ups and downs. Even I had the phases when I was full of despair. And with this baggage of having 23,000 rank, and this being the second attempt and kind of an important one, it's okay to have those days, as long as you give that, you should not be too harsh on yourself at that time. You should talk to your friends or your parents, or I used to also watch sirs and the motivational videos,
Right.
and that helped me come out of it. And maybe at that time I developed really short-term goals. Like I would look at the next 1.5 hours every single day,
Okay.
and not at all look at even the entire day for that matter.
That's great.
And that helped me build a momentum and come out of those phases. So the short-term goals are also they've worked for me.
Right.
So yes.
And once we talk about notes, and you've made your concepts and you've made your base on what you're going to build, right? You said you were consistently giving tests, right?
Yes, yes.
And finding out your weak zones from it is important.
Yes.
And this time with the test, whether it is subject wise or grant, we are giving video discussions with it.
Yes, yes.
Right? Do you think that they are important and they helped you in some form or the other?
Yes, the video discussions they are absolutely amazing, ma'am. Actually, they have helped me a lot, and it's much more efficient to look at the solutions than to try to read
Right.
them. And the tests help me identify the weak topics as well as the weak subjects, and that's how I could focus the first round of revision or my second round of the notes on those topics and subjects,
Okay.
which made it more effective actually.
Right. So in the second revision, you actually started from areas that you were weak in.
Yes, yes. So then I think my first round was over by October 12th, and which was just in time for the CBT 1. So I was actually not quite prepared. I felt I'm not prepared, and I didn't think that I'm going to get a rank in CBT, good rank in CBT. But I think I got a rank of 188, and that gave me the confidence that maybe whatever I've done till now is the right, and I need to stick to this.
Right. Great. And when it comes to the other aspects of the exam, so one is theory, which is the most important. The second is revision, which we've talked about, and how to look at your weak areas and revise them consistently. The third aspect is the MCQ skill. So do you think that the test that we are providing at DAMS, maybe in the form of a post-class test or a subject-wise test or a grant test, do you think the quality was good enough to give you a fair idea on what you should expect in the real exam?
Yes, ma'am. The quality of the MCQs and the tests was really good. I used to find the grant tests and the CBT more difficult than the 4 exams that I've appeared for, but that prepared me to take on these exams basically.
Yeah.
And initially, I used to be a person who would attempt less, but as and when I attempted more and more exams, I trusted myself to started trusting my instinct.
Yeah, that's probably because you know that you were making a strong theory base and you could hit more questions.
Yes. So I started attempting more and more number of questions, and actually that was when I started getting a better rank. That helped me come out of the plateau phase. Actually, that is another thing that I did, and then I think my first round of revision was for 27 days or so, and I had bunched my weak subjects as well as the subjects that I used to find volatile towards the end. So towards AIMS was the first exam, so I bunched my weak subjects, which was anatomy, and some of the volatile subjects like PSM or forensic medicine towards the end. And I made a plan for 27 days, gave the major subjects around 3 days and minor subjects 1 day.
Okay.
I tried to adhere to this plan very rigidly, but I actually was not successful in doing so. I was so what I used to do was replan actually. So the moment I felt that I'm not sticking to my target, I used to just replan and try to stick to the new one, rather than thinking about what the time that I've lost or
okay.
And
so which again is about willpower and just to continue in the direction.
Yes, and my parents and my friends, of course, helped me, and all the motivation from the videos that I used to just watch them, and it was amazing.
Yes, because I think that's a very important part of your preparation, because students are under a lot of pressure, and you need to dissipate it, and somebody has to keep telling you that you are going to do it, no matter what. So somebody has to show the faith in you.
Yes, I would also like to share one thing, that my friends and I, we came up with something called the Grand Revision Week. We called it our Grand Revision Week. So something like the DVT for us. So it was we had this thing that just before every exam that we appear for 7 days, you have to go through all the important topics as well as the forgettables, the volatile things, which I found volatile, and I had marked them in my in the first round. Yes, because the
list is going to be different for different people.
Yes. So the things that like some numbers or some the formulae or the cycles in biochemistry. So those things can vary for different people, but we allotted around 6 hours, 7 hours for a major subject, 2 hours, 3 hours for a minor subject, and that's how we
mini revisions.
Yes, mini revision, and the last 1.5 days was, as you had recommended, to do just the DVT.
Yeah. So
this is the pattern we, my friends and I, we followed for all the exams.
And when you say you were doing these mini revisions, what was the base? Was it your notes, or
the base has always been the notes.
Okay.
Always the notes, but just that in those 7 days, it's impossible to go through everything. So it has to be just selected, glancing through all the pages, and very selective, just points.
Yeah.
And just kind of telling yourself that you will remember it in the exam, and you have to trust yourself.
So you've done many mini revisions, and
yes. So before each of the 4 exams, we have done this mini revision, and actually before NEET, there was a time constraint because I had to attend the PGI counseling, and that I got 22 days for that round, for my 3rd round actually. So I was thinking whether to go ahead with this Grand Revision Week or not, but I just kind of thought that this is working for me, so I'll go ahead with the 22-day plan and go ahead with the Grand Revision Week, and I think that proved to be quite helpful.
That's amazing. And also, now you've talked about revisions close to the exam, and now I talk about the exam strategy. So this year, the exam was in Part A, Part B, and Part C, and we had the same thing in the CBT as well, right? So anything that you want to tell this to your juniors or anybody who's listening to the interview about the day of the exam or the strategy of the exam?
On the day of the exam, it's important to have a good night's sleep, 6 to 7 hours definitely, and I think try to attempt as many questions as possible. I think in NEET usually you have to attempt around 285 questions.
How many did you attempt?
I attempted 283 questions. I felt after coming back that I've attempted slightly lesser, but could have attempted more, but yes, I was okay with 283.
Wonderful. Right. And, the Part C probably had most of the visuals, and was the DVT helpful for you?
Yes, there were, the DVT has been helpful for NEET and actually all the 4 exams that I've appeared for. And there were direct images from the DVT in NEET, and it just feels so nice that you can just get those questions correct.
Right. That's great. And Neel, anything that you would want to tell your juniors about, people who are in the same phase right now?
I would like to just say that don't lose hope. I think it is very important. It's not everybody has their own phases of ups and downs, and you have to find out your own way of coming out of the down phase. For me, it was about talking to my friends and sharing with them and my family. And it's NEET, and getting a good rank in NEET is not it's not very very difficult. You just have to do whatever material DAMS has provided you with. Study the notes. Study the notes to basically understand. Have enough number of revisions. Have
just one more thing that I want to ask you here.
Yes.
That do you think with whatever DAMS is providing, do you need any other extra material with the regular course?
No.
And should you be doing it?
No. Like me, like I had this initially in the first few months. I had this these thoughts that okay, 19 subjects, so I think I need to do a lot.
Yeah.
But during the course of my preparation, I realized that it's about how selective you can be and how much you have to restrict yourself.
Yes,
and
that's very
DAMS
important.
is providing with more than enough material for cracking any institute, any exam in the country. So just have to stick to the notes and you clear your doubts on the club, give the tests. I think that's what I did. That's worked for me.
And I think it has worked wonders for you.
Yes.
And I'm sure the journey from 23,000 to rank 89 would be very memorable for you.
Yes.
And I'm sure you are going to inspire a lot of other students as well, and to not give up, to
Yes.
make it happen, and to only quit when you reach there.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Neel.
Thank you so
it
much,
was a
ma'am.
pleasure having you here, and we wish you all the very best for your future.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
may you be a great doctor.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.